Three of John Aldridge's side, Gary Stevens and Pat Nevin for Everton and John Aldridge himself for Liverpool, had played in a total of 6 finals between them, and the dream of another glorious appearance beneath the Twin Towers in the twilight of their careers burned brightly. You then got drawn in the FA Cup against Carlisle United. Now you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing in that sort of draw, and it didn't turn out too well for you. That's right. It's one of those matches that you could smell a defeat in the air when you went on the pitch. Funny enough, you get that feeling. I don't know. You can just sense it. You know, we weren't playing well. You know, things weren't going. We had a couple of chances early on. We should have had the penalty, I felt. Referee done us no favours in the game. And you could sense it. It wasn't going to happen. You can slaughter referees. I think he just wanted to make a bit of a name for himself there. That was for nothing. The times I've done that in the past, you know, it's hundreds of times. And referees or linesmen tend to laugh at you, and you have a left back. But that was a poor decision. But the game itself was very disappointing, because you know I've always loved the FA Cup and the charisma of it, you know, and being involved in it. When you go out third round, you know, it hurts you. No doubt, especially to a lower team who were doing well at the time. A 2-1 defeat at Oxford quickly followed, this goal the only bright spot in a game which also saw the dismissal of Dave Higgins, a decision later rescinded. Next up at Prenton Park for an extraordinary game were a team reputed to be Norwich City. You had a bit of a steadier run then, and there was one amazing night here against Norwich City when at least everybody thought it was Norwich City in the fog, John. Yeah, I wasn't involved that night. I wasn't on the bench, and you know, when the fog came down, they went 1-0 up, and I thought, come on, keep on coming down, get this game off. And then next minute we're 3-1 up, and then you just praying that the fog stays as it was, and you know, and as it was, we did, you know, but it was farcical, to be honest. It was a farcical game for everyone. And I sat down to watch the video of it the next day, and I watched 5 minutes and then threw it away. You couldn't see nothing.
Seems to be a lot of good because, like I said, fourth to top this morning. But definitely there's a chance here, the only chance for Norwich City. They haven't scored, surely. They're throwing for Tranmere. So Liverpool's cross. Ryan trying to get underneath this. What's the chance for Tranmere? Yes! That's a crazy equalises goal.
It's going to be a corner in Tranmere Rovers, and Paul Cook's going to swing it in. Swings in for Tranmere. Oh, it's in, yeah! It's here, Lord. In there for Tranmere Rovers. And Tranmere taking 2-1 lead at Prenton Park. Oh, very good header there from Grant finds Thomas now on the right for Tranmere Rovers. Thomas with a cross. And Brian shot! That's a great finish! A great finish from the... Oh, just great little shot from Branch. And Tranmere Rovers lead 3-1.
So much for the game being easy to read from the stands. Tranmere's steadier league form over the following couple of months maddeningly refused to get out of third gear. A disappointing home draw with Reading, Ivano Bonetti's last appearance for the club, was followed by a trip to revenge-seeking Charlton.
Thomas will get this one, whip this one right there. Underneath that one. There's Mika, he's going to whip this one across, he certainly is. Morley trying to get on the end of it, Morley does! That was a sort to Bradford on them. So I think there's been to Blackpool as well, he's back on the side. There's a chance for Morley, he's going to go forward, he's going to go Nixon to me. They're still not clear, Mika, is he going to take this one? No, Morley's still there. What a silly mistake by Tranmere. What a silly mistake.
Good bit from Marlon for Kirk. Building up once again through the midfield.
Kinsella. There's the damage. A bad cross by Cook. Just Leeburn up though for Charlton. And Nevin nearly giving it away, and he has to Kevin Lisby. Lisby goes between two players. Going to go on the keeper. Great save. They're going to get up. Penalty. The referee's given a penalty.
The penalty was duly converted. Tranmere were well beaten, and Pat Nevin, surely the unlikeliest of suspects, dismissed for the only time in his career. Rovers could have been forgiven a sense of foreboding déjà vu upon their return to South East London 2 weeks later for a clash with high-flying Crystal Palace at Charlton's one-time stamping ground, Selhurst Park. With their young guns having been convincingly beaten by the same opposition at Prenton Park 2 months earlier, Tranmere produced arguably their performance of the season to rekindle their playoff hopes. The impact of that victory was lessened by another disappointing home goalless draw against Stoke City, but Rovers were soon back on the playoff track with a fine win at their Coca-Cola Cup conquerors Oldham Athletic, whose problems at the other end of the table were mounting. The home side were given a chance to get back into it. Dave Higgins adjudged to have fouled his man. The reverse angle suggested otherwise. Justice was duly done. Oldham did manage to get back on level terms. But a rocket from Jed Brannan settled it. That one surely worth another look. The spectre of inconsistency reared its ugly head 4 days later at Molineux. A good showing from Rovers was nevertheless not good enough to tame the Wolves, with Steve Bull, who else the tormentor-in-chief, in a 3-2 defeat. Two crucial home games now loom for Tranmere. High-flying Barnsley were first up, followed 3 days later by Manchester City, and a reunion with old boy Jed Brannan, who just left the club for £750,000.
Number 11, Scott Jones, has gone off. Throw in, there's a chance there, it was flopped, it's there! It's in right goal there by Wilkinson. They come across from the corner. It was fluffed by one of the Barnsley players. Sammy never got it clear, and Wilkinson has equalised within 2 minutes of this restart.
Well, Dave, before kick-off, 1-1 against third-place Barnsley, I suppose you would have settled for that.
Aye, but I think if you want to get in the playoffs or get anywhere, you've got to win your home games, which I've been saying all week. And the boss has let the lads know that, and a point at home's not good enough.
You had the chances as well, really, to win it, although they did as well.
Well, in the first half, you know, we managed to get the first goal, but it was just more huff and puff than anything, you know, a few little chances, but the pitch doesn't help us, you know, we like to knock it about a bit, but unfortunately we couldn't do it. Second half, we started off a bit scrappy, they got an early goal, and they had a couple of chances, so it could have went either way in the end.
Great goal for yourself, you don't get many, but when you get them, they go in, don't they?
Yeah, it was a good corner by Alan Mann, you know, we work on corners and free kicks and training all week, and it was good to see coming out from the training pitch onto the Saturday.
What about their equaliser? I mean, 60 seconds into the half, was that a disappointing defensively again?
Well, the thing about it is the boss said at half time, you got another 45, say it's 0-0, go out there, roll your sleeves up, they get a corner, and there was a lack of concentration. You know, these are things we've worked on again in training, on picking up from corners and set pieces. I know we missed it and it went in, but it should have been stopped.
What about the season now finally, Dave? You've got 10 games left, 5 at home, 5 away.
Again, you can't afford to drop points at home. You go away, our away form's not too bad. We've tightened up a lot over the last 5 or 6 games, but we've got to get points away and win the home games if we want to get in the playoffs.